Hey all, welcome or welcome back to the channel depending on if you're a first time visitor or if you have been on this channel before. So today's journey is going to be from Mangalore to Mumbai by the Vande Bharat service. Now there is no direct Vande Bharat service from Mangalore to Mumbai, so I'll have to change trains at Madgaon. I'll be taking the Mangalore Madgaon Vande Bharat Express, that is train number 20646, which was recently inaugurated. And then from Madgaon to Mumbai, I'll be taking train number 22230, Madgaon Mumbai CSMT Vande Bharat Express. Now, these two trains act as unofficial connecting trains. That is, you can travel by this train from Mangalore to Madgaon and have a layover of about an hour and a half at Madgaon and then board the other train to reach Mumbai. And both these trains are taken on the same platform at Madgaon to ensure seamless connectivity. I have been allotted a seat in coach C3, which is an AC chair car coach. There are two classes of accommodation on this train, AC chair car and executive chair car, which is the equivalent of first class. Fares for AC chair car are about 1350 rupees including meals, and for executive class it's almost twice as much. This being a weekday, the train had just about 20% occupancy and my coach had less than 10 passengers. Mangalore Central Station is over a century old and was commissioned in 1907. That marker stone that you see right there is the original marker stone from 1907. It indicates the distance to Madras or the present day Chennai. The longest train in the Indian subcontinent ran from Mangalore to Peshawar in the present day Pakistan. That train was called the Grand Trunk Express. Although the train still runs to this day, its services are curtailed between Chennai and New Delhi. We depart from Mangalore Central on time at 8:30 in the morning.
Dobra, i tak nie zostało 6%.
Tak, to kurczę, 6% nie chcesz dokończyć, już po prostu wszystko się wydarzyło.
Newspapers were served to each passenger just after departure from Mangalore. Cross the Bangalore-Murudeshwar Express at Mangalore Junction. This train goes all the way up to Mangalore Central, reverses and comes back via Mangalore Junction and heads into Konkan Rail. We skip Mangalore Junction through the mainline platform. The very late running Mangala Lakshadweep Express from New Delhi crosses us outside Mangalore Junction. Meanwhile, breakfast had been served. It comprised of a couple of Mangalorean Catholic style idlis, also known as sannas, a vada, sabudana khichdi, and a minuscule serving of shira, which I initially mistook to be Mysore pak or some other sweet of that kind, but it wasn't, it was shira. There was also a pre-packaged muffin and a tea kit. While I'm not a big fan of sabudana khichdi, I would rate this breakfast a solid 9 on 10. It's one of the best breakfasts I've had on board a train. We passed through the Mangalore International Airport area and crossed Jokate Station, which is the last station on Southern Railway. Just after Jokate Station, we enter Konkan Railway. We are entering Konkan Railway here. So we are now in Konkan Railway. That line goes to the MRPL siding. At the very first station on Konkan Railway, that is Tokur, we are sent on the loop line for a crossing with the Matsyagandha Express. As is the norm these days, all trains on Konkan Railway were running horrendously late, the Matsyagandha included. And right behind Matsyagandha was the Gandhidham Tirunelveli Humsafar Express, followed by the Mumbai Kochuveli Garib Rath Express. We are departing from Tokur after crossing with the Matsyagandha Express towards Mangalore. just skip Mulki at 120 kmph. We're running pretty much on time.
Myślę, że teraz wysmaruje się kremami.
That's the Mumbai Trivandrum Garib Rath Express.
Fajna plaża.
Been looped for us here at Nandikur.
Ale masz rację, bo
There's a speed restriction on the main line. That's why we are crawling through the station.
może nie tylko, ale coś się ale nie wiem, nie można wszędzie. Szkoła serwowa jest tam. Tutaj w Konie też jest jakaś
This freight train is coming out of the UPCL thermal power plant, which you'll see up ahead.
ma telefon. Nie może być. Nie, no dobra.
Ja też chcę tam przy stoliczkach.
Nie, no już nie zejdzie.
Despite all these slowdowns due to speed restrictions, we are still running on time. It goes to show just how much slack this train has in its timetable. It can easily be speeded up by at least an hour. That's Padubidri station. We have been stopped outside in Nanji Hall station because the 16516 Karwar Bangalore Intercity is getting looped at the station from the other side. As soon as we are cleared to run through the station, just observe the acceleration of the train from 0 to 120 kmph. It's going to be insane. Enjoy the acceleration now. Already doing 80 kmph. This is the Karwar Bangalore Intercity looped for us. We had stopped at the home signal of the station and we departed from a dead halt, and by the time we exited the station we were doing 120 kmph. So that's the acceleration prowess of the Vande Bharat train set.
ಭಾರತೀಯ ರೈಲ್ವೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಯಾಣಿಸಿದ್ದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ವಂದನೆಗಳು.
We depart from Udupi on time. Maybe a couple of minutes late. That's acceptable.
ನಮ್ಮ ಅಣ್ಣನ ಕಲಿಗೆ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡೆ ಹೌದು ಮರ್ರೆ ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರು ಸಂತೆ ಕಟ್ಟಿ ಅಂತ ಸಂತೆ ಕಟ್ಟಿ ಜನಾರ್ದನ ಅಂತ.
Now it's going to be a non-stop run all the way up to Karwar. It's about 200 kilometers away. It should take about 2 hours.
ಲೈಕ್ ಇದ್ದ ಕಾಂಪ್ ಲೈಕ್
Indian Railways welcomes all passengers boarding from Udupi station.
And today this train is running with just 20% occupancy since it's a weekday. On weekends this train is usually waitlisted. That is on Saturdays towards Madgaon and Sunday on the return journey towards Mangalore. There's a lot of potential on this route. However, this train needs to be extended up to Mumbai to tap into that potential. It's not rocket science, right? There's already a train running from Mumbai to Madgaon. The same can be combined with this and run as a single service from Mumbai to Mangalore. And the journey can be completed in under 12 hours. And the fastest train now takes more than 14 hours. And even today, as I'm traveling by the 2 Vande Bharats from Mangalore to Mumbai, the journey is going to take about 14 hours. So there's a long break at Madgaon. After merging these two services, if the existing composition of 8 coaches is not enough to fulfill the demand, then maybe a 16-car rake can be allotted for the service. That's going to be a win-win for all, right? 8 cars can fulfill the demand of the Mangalore-Madgaon and Mangalore-Mumbai sector, and the other 8 cars can fulfill the existing demand between Mumbai and Madgaon. That is the Goa-bound crowd. So that would be the ideal solution to this low occupancy problem of this particular Vande Bharat train set. All the announcements, both visual and oral, are made in 4 different languages. That is Konkani, the local language of Goa, Kannada, which is the state language of Karnataka state, Hindi and English. Looks like we are halting at Kundapura station. Or is it a speed restriction? We are getting looped at Kundapura station because there is a freight train waiting on the main line. It's an empty Ro-Ro rake. Well, that was anticlimactic. I was expecting a 120 kmph skip through Kundapura station. But nope, that's not happening today. That's the Shimoga highway. Most of the overnight buses from Mangalore to Shimoga district use this highway instead of the Agumbe Ghat or the Chamari Ghat route. Those are the Western Ghat mountain ranges.
ರೇಟ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ತುಂಬ ತಲೆ ಚವರ.
Bandur station. Now we are going to enter the first tunnel on the Konkan Railway from Mangalore side, Bandur tunnel.
ರಿಕ್ಷಾ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಅವನ ಮಂಟಪ
So a lot of people have this misconception that if this train were to be extended up to Mumbai, not a lot of people from coastal Karnataka would prefer to travel by it, since the journey time is going to be 11 to 12 hours, which is just not true. I mean, there are a ton of semi-sleeper buses from Mangalore to Mumbai which run full every single day. So I don't see any reason why people wouldn't prefer to travel by this train, which takes about half as much time as those buses. Those buses take anywhere from 18 to 22 hours to cover the distance from Mangalore to Mumbai. They're not reliable either. They oftentimes get delayed by 2 to 3 hours, sometimes even more, depending on traffic conditions. So why wouldn't people prefer to travel by this Vande Bharat, which is way more comfortable? You have the option of stretching your legs, you can use the onboard washrooms, you have onboard meal service. I don't see any reason why people wouldn't prefer to travel by this train set, right? I mean, that argument just doesn't hold any water. So I hope someday, in the near future, this train gets extended all the way up to Mumbai and it runs successfully. Meanwhile, we have reached Bhatkal. We have slowed down. I think we are taking the loop line here as well. Yep, there's a loaded freight train on the main line. There's another container freight on the loop line as well. No, in fact, we are on the main line. Both the loop lines have been occupied by freighters. We are overtaking this loaded iron ore freighter. I think we are crossing that container freight. Or are we overtaking that as well?
ಮೀನಾಕ್ಷಿ ನಾಡು ಮತ್ತು ಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗರ್ಭಕೋಶದ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡುವ ಅವನಿಗೆ ತಂಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ.
Looks like there's a speed restriction here as well. That's the reason we had to slow down.
ಅವ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಫೆಬ್ರವರಿ 13 ಆಗ ಕೂಡ ಊರೊಳಗೆ ಮನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೊಸ ಮನೆ.
Now that was surprising. That freighter was hauled by twin WDG3A Alco engines, which is a rarity these days. There's some heavy track work going on in this section. Sleepers are being replaced. So this concept of connecting trains just won't work here, because you can easily get a ticket from Mangalore to Madgaon, but what about Madgaon to Mumbai, right? In my case, the Madgaon Mumbai Vande Bharat was heavily waitlisted. The waitlist status was, I think, 40 plus yesterday morning. So I had to book a ticket under the Tatkal quota. Tatkal quota opens at 10 AM. You can book seats under Tatkal quota by paying a premium. For this train, that is for the Madgaon Mumbai Vande Bharat, the premium I paid was around 225 rupees, I guess. Yeah, thereabouts. But with just 25 seats on offer under Tatkal quota, there's no guarantee that you will successfully manage to book a seat under Tatkal quota, right? I was lucky, and since luck favored me, I could manage to get a window seat as well. Not everybody can afford to sit in front of a computer or a phone at 10 AM sharp and try their luck at booking a Tatkal seat. And that's the reason this concept of Vande Bharat connecting trains is just not going to work on this sector, because this train is running empty. I booked this seat just 2 hours prior to departure this morning, whereas for my connecting journey from Madgaon to Mumbai, I had to book the ticket under Tatkal quota yesterday morning. And the tickets were sold out in Tatkal quota by 10:05. Bookings opened at 10 AM and by 10:05 AM all the tickets were sold out. Skipping Murudeshwar. And that's the Mumbai Mangalore Super Fast Express. There's some water dripping out of the top of this coach and staining the window glass. I think it's from the overhead water tanks or from the air conditioning system. That's the Sharavati river. This flows from the Western Ghats. So about 65 kilometers upstream, this river forms the world famous Jog Falls, which is the second tallest waterfall in India. And about 2 or 3 kilometers downstream, it joins the Arabian Sea. There are 3 bridges across this river built by Konkan Railway. Right now we are crossing the Sharavati B bridge, which is the longest one. Next up is the Sharavati A bridge, which will lead us straight into the Honavar tunnels. There are 3 tunnels in series. There's a road bridge under construction to link the Mavin Kurwa island with the mainland. We'll now be entering the Honavar tunnel. Okay, so the train has just slammed on the emergency brakes. Maybe cattle on the tracks or something. Did we just hit cattle? I don't know. So the emergency brakes have been slammed on. Looks like it's a cattle run over. Or maybe the brakes were slammed on to save cattle on the tracks. You can see a lot of cattle beside the tracks. I hope everything is alright though. Yep, looks like everything is fine. Brakes have been slammed down again. I don't know if this is for a TSR or yet another cattle on the tracks incident. We come to an emergency halt yet again. Looks like there's something on the tracks because I can see people staring at the front of the train. Could be cattle on the tracks. That's the Kumta bus stand. We are skipping Kumta at 120 kmph. Slowed down to 110 kmph. There's a sharp curve just after the station. That's the reason there's a speed restriction of 110 kmph. I also forgot to mention that I paid 3,400 rupees to travel by the Vande Bharat service from Mangalore to Mumbai, which is almost equal to off-season flight ticket fares. I mean, flight tickets during the lean season, which begins shortly. From February 1st or 2nd week I think it's the beginning of lean season when it comes to air tickets. An air ticket from Mangalore to Mumbai costs about 3,500 rupees. That's how much I paid to travel from Mangalore to Mumbai by this Vande Bharat service, because these are connecting services, right? So the telescopic fare benefit of Indian Railways doesn't apply here. If it was a single service, then the fare would be under 2,000, because you would get the benefit of telescopic fare. That is, more the distance, the lesser is magnitude of increase in fare. So a ticket by this Vande Bharat from Mangalore to Udupi costs about 500 rupees, 500 or 600 rupees I guess. However, a ticket from Mangalore to Madgaon, which is about 5 times the distance, costs just 1,300 rupees with meals included. So do the math. The distance has increased by 5x, but the fares have increased by what? Just 2x, right? That's the advantage of telescopic fare. This only applies to a train if it's a single service, not for connecting trains. I think earlier you could book tickets from point A to point B via point C, which would be connecting services, and avail the telescopic fare benefit. But I don't think that facility exists anymore. I think that has been discontinued by Indian Railways. I'm not sure about that, so don't quote me on that. But one thing that I'm sure about is that the telescopic fare benefit doesn't apply to Vande Bharat services, which are connecting trains. We just crossed the Agnashini river after Kumta. So we've been looped here at a station called Mirjan in between Kumta and Gokarna for crossing. I think the Oka-Ernakulam Weekly Express will cross us here. Track replacement work is ongoing in this section as well. You can see replacement rails placed beside the main line. There goes the Oka-Ernakulam Express. It's a bi-weekly service. About to skip Gokarna Road Station. Although this station is meant to serve the popular tourist town of Gokarna, it's quite far away from the actual Gokarna town. So one would be better off getting off at Kumta and taking a bus to Gokarna town rather than getting off at this Gokarna Road Station, because there's no bus connectivity to the station. You would have to hire an auto or a taxi, then head to Gokarna. We get off at Kumta station. The KSRTC bus stand is right next to the station, as you've already seen in a previous clip. You can get buses from Kumta to Gokarna every 15 minutes or so. Those buses stop you right in Gokarna town, not on the outskirts like the train does. That's the reason the station is named as Gokarna Road, not Gokarna. River. We have been halted at Ankola station. Looks like the Mangalore-Madgaon passenger service is running just ahead of us. We'll be overtaking it before Madgaon. So that's the vestibule linking two coaches or two carriages. This train, the vestibule is completely sealed, so no scary moments when crossing between coaches. And we finally depart from Ankola. So this is the Indian style washroom of the Vande Bharat Express. It has vacuum toilets. So fun fact, on the inaugural run of this train, that was my allotted seat, that is seat number 57. I was in this same coach, C3. If you haven't watched that journey video, it's up on my channel, you can go watch it now or maybe later. That's the Mangalore-Mumbai National Highway. We are being halted again at Harwada station. Or it might just be a speed restriction. I think we are halting here. because we have taken the loop line. And that's the reason why we have taken the loop line here at Harwada. On the main line there is a rail transporting rake. Those are replacement rails. I think they are being unloaded here. Yep, track replacement works are in full flow in this section. That's the reason a lot of trains are getting delayed. This is a tiny haul station. Very scenic during the monsoon season. So if you haven't travelled by the Vande Bharat before, let me quickly show you the maximum versus the minimum recline angle of these seats in chair car. So the seat closest to the camera has been fully reclined, whereas the other two seats are in the upright position. So you can gauge the amount of reclination from this video. By pressing this button on the armrest and simultaneously pushing back on the backrest of the seat. There is a generous amount of legroom on offer. However, the footrest on these aisle seats is an ergonomic disaster because see, my right foot fits perfectly on the leg rest, but my left foot doesn't because this seat pillar intrudes into the space. So yeah, I can use half of it. Half of the leg rest. The other half is, I don't think it's usable. Barely usable, yeah. Right now we are crossing the long Karwar tunnel just before Karwar station. This tunnel is about 3 kilometers in length. Now I'm gonna be honest with y'all. A lot of people don't find these seats in the chair car class of Vande Bharat Express too comfortable. But I'm almost 6 foot tall and I find these seats to be supremely comfortable. In fact, I find these seats to be much better than some of the premium luxury buses. So opinions can be divided there, but these seats are comfortable from my perspective. Meanwhile, we have entered Karwar station. There's a container train on the main line and this is platform 1. So we are departing from Karwar station at 12:25, about 20 minutes behind schedule. But I think we should be able to cover that delay by the time we reach Margao.
दरवाजे बंद हो रहे हैं. ಬಾಗಿಲುಗಳು ಮುಚ್ಚುತ್ತಿವೆ. Doors are closing.
Lunch is loaded from Karwar.
दरवाजे बंद हो रहे हैं. ಬಾಗಿಲುಗಳು ಮುಚ್ಚುತ್ತಿವೆ.
If you book in advance, you can choose between a non-veg or a veg meal. However, if you're booking under the current availability quota, that is if you're booking after the first chart preparation, then you can only opt for a veg meal. These center table seats are nice if you're traveling in a large group or if you're traveling with your friends or family. But if you're traveling alone or if you're traveling with strangers, then there could be conflicts when it comes to placing your feet. Especially for a tall person like me, if there's other tall people around, then our feet could brush against each other and that's not going to be comfortable. There's no footrest for these seats either. So if you're traveling alone, I would prefer some other seat. But again, that's not under your control, right? If the train is empty, you can select the coach which you want to travel in, but you cannot choose your seat. Lunch should hopefully be served any moment now, because it's going to be a short hop to Madgaon. I think if we run non-stop, we'll cover the distance in about 30 minutes.
कारवार स्टेशनाचे बसपी सगळ्या प्रवाशांक भारतीय रेल्वे येवकार दिता.
Lunch has arrived. So we are crossing the Kali river after Karwar. After this we'll skip Asnoti station and then enter Goa state.
Madam.
So this is the lunch on board the Mangalore-Madgaon Vande Bharat.
भारतीय रेल आपकी सुखद एवं आरामदायक यात्रा की कामना करती है।
Our fire detection system is now.
So we are now in Goa. We are about to skip Cancun. Just overtook the Mangalore-Madgaon passenger at Lolium, which I couldn't record because I was feasting on my lunch. The lunch was nice, however it was served cold, and so the side dish of vegetables wasn't really worth consuming. But other than that, the quality was good, I would say. If it was served hot, I would rate it excellent. Maybe that's an area they can improve on, because I don't see the reason for serving cold lunch, especially when these carriages, these Vande Bharat carriages, have all the facilities in them, like heaters, ovens, cold storage and whatnot. So we are skipping Cancun. Right now we are crossing the Barsem tunnel, which is the longest tunnel in Goa state. It's more than 3.5 kilometers long. Yeah, by the way, this water bottle was served just after departure from Mangalore Central. Forgot to mention it earlier. Skipping Bali, which is the last station before Madgaon. That's the container terminal. A scene from the movie Chennai Express was shot here. The station was renamed as Singapuram Road for that movie shoot. The outer pane of my window is cracked already. Since this is a double layered glass, it shouldn't affect the people sitting inside. Just check the status of the incoming Mumbai-Madgaon Vande Bharat Express, and it's running late by an hour and a half. So yeah, I think I'll have to wait a little longer at Madgaon. This train reaches on time, that is at 1:15 p.m. and the wait time as per schedule is going to be 1 hour 20 minutes. Now since that train is running late, I think I'll have to wait a bit longer than that, maybe about 2 hours. And I'm sure the Madgaon-Mumbai Vande Bharat Express will cover the delay in the return run, because it has enough slack. Yesterday it had reached stations like Khed in Maharashtra before time. So hopefully the return run will be smooth and free of delays. Let's see what happens. Meanwhile, we are nearing Madgaon, almost there. This is a place called Sarzora. Just crossed the Sarzora tunnel. That's the tunnel in which the Mumbai-Ernakulam Duronto Express had derailed a few years back. Luckily, there were no injuries or casualties.
ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಗಮ್ಯಸ್ಥಾನ
Madgaon Junction.
ಅನ್ನು ಸಮೀಪಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ.
Those are the Southwestern Railway lines towards Londa and Hubli. Trains such as the Ernakulam
We
Pune
are
Purna
about to
Express take
reach
that
our
line.
destination, Madgaon.
Even the Goa Express from Vasco to New Delhi takes that line.
हम गंतव्य स्टेशन मडगांव पहुंच रहे हैं।
That's the coach care center at Madgaon. That's the empty rake of the Konkan Ganya Express. No, it says Madgaon Panvel.
उपकार करून गाडी पुरायपणान थांबल्या उपरांतच जतनायेन देवचे.
So that's the empty rake of the Madgaon Panvel special train, festival special train.
ರೈಲು ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ನಿಲುಗಡೆಗೆ ಬಂದ ನಂತರವೇ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಎಚ್ಚರಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ಇಳಿಯಿರಿ.
So we've reached Madgaon Junction at 1:06. That's about 10 minutes ahead of schedule. So I'll have to wait here for about 2 hours until my train, the Madgaon Mumbai Vande Bharat Express, arrives from Mumbai. So my next train from here, which is the Madgaon Mumbai Vande Bharat, will apparently come on the same platform and be positioned right behind this, so right in front of this Vande Bharat. So for transit passengers like me, it's easier now because we don't even have to change platforms at Madgaon. Just get off this train and board the other train. There comes the Vande Bharat from Mumbai. On the same platform. That's the Vande Bharat from Mangalore.
मडगाव थोड्याच वेळात प्लॅटफॉर्म क्रमांक 2 वर येत आहे. कृपया ध्यान दीजिए. 2229 मुंबई.
Only at Madgaon Junction can you see two Vande Bharat train sets on the same platform. So this is the Madgaon CST Vande Bharat, and
छत्रपती शिवाजी महाराज
on the other side is the Madgaon Mangalore Vande Bharat.
प्लेटफॉर्म क्रमांक 2 पर है. प्लेटफॉर्म क्रमांक 2 पर है.
So this coach is slightly different. It has red seats of a different make. I don't know if these seats are more comfortable than those blue ones or not. Even the reclining mechanism is different. Unlike those other coaches wherein the reclining button was on the handrest. In these seats, the button to recline the seats is beside the seat itself. There. Just need to press it down and push the seat back simultaneously. So the seat recline angle is almost the same, and I feel that the comfort levels are the same as well. Okay, so the doors are shut and we are off. So we are departing from Madgaon on time at 2:40. So despite being delayed by more than an hour, about an hour and a half actually, this train has managed to reach Madgaon with minimal delay and depart back on time. Just ignore the morons playing loud music in the background. So this is where the erstwhile Matgaon meter gauge station used to exist. Before Konkan Railway came into existence, there were meter gauge tracks running through here. There was no broad gauge. Back then it was under South Central Railway, a line from Vasco da Gama to Hubli. So this is precisely the location where that old station existed back in the day.
सभी यात्रियों की सुखद एवं मंगलमय यात्रा की कामना करती है।
So we've entered the main line and we are now picking up speed. Our first halt is going to be at Tivin in North Goa, followed by Kankavali in Maharashtra, and Ratnagiri, Khed, and finally Panvel, where I'll be getting off. My ticket is up to CSMT, but I'll have to get off at Panvel because there are no trains to return back home from CSMT. All the trains are jam-packed due to the long upcoming weekend. That's Varna, the industrial side of Goa. I think we are halting here for a crossing. It could be the Mumbai-Margaon Jan Shatabdi Express, which will cross us here. That's running late as well. That's the Margaon Jan Shatabdi.
चार्जिंग पॉइंट एवं पानी की बोतल रखने की सुविधा।
Karmali station is located right next to the Karambolim lake. We are getting looped at Karmali. Yes, there's yet another crossing here. Could be the Margaon bound Tejas Express. Just after Karmali station lies the Karmali tunnel, also known as the Old Goa tunnel. It's one of the most delicate tunnels on this entire route. Just a couple of years back, it was hit by landslides, and there were landslides happening inside the tunnel, and emergency work was carried out. I think the line was shut for a few days. Yeah, I do remember trains getting cancelled. Some trains were held up for hours. We'll be crossing the tunnel shortly. There's a speed restriction inside the tunnel. seat next to mine will be occupied from Tivim. A lot of other seats will be occupied from stations such as Ratnagiri and Kankavali. This is the old Goa tunnel. This is the Mandovi river.
Station Ragi Pavlaya.
Evening snacks have been served. We've reached Tivim station. This station is a gateway to North Goa. There's an empty LHB rake stable on the main line. That's the rake of the Diva Ratnagiri passenger. Comes to Margam for maintenance. They earlier used to run as an overnight passenger train from Margam to Ratnagiri, but has since been cancelled.
भारतीय रेल्वे वांगडा प्रवास केल्या खाती तुमका सगळ्यांक देव बरें करूं.
In case you're wondering what's inside this packet, it's a couple of kachoris, a fried savory. We depart from Tivim. So we're skipping Sawantwadi. Slowed down outside the station so this freight was entering the siding. We're about to skip Kudal station. Train slowing down from 120. Kudal station and we are skipping it at 120 kmph. And the two trains which are following us, the Madgaon Mumbai Jan Shatabdi and the Madgaon Mumbai Tejas Express, both of those halt at Kudal.
Please deboard carefully only after the train has come to a complete halt. कृपया तुमसे सर्वसावधान सुगम एरियाज श्रीलंका
भारतीय रेल्वे वांगडा प्रवास केल्या खाती तुमका सगळ्यांक बेस बरे करू.
And we depart from Kankavali with a delay of approximately 10 minutes, which is nothing. Now it's a non-stop run till Ratnagiri.
So it is
The coach is now almost filled up. A few more passengers will join us from Ratnagiri.
How will you enjoy?
Skipping Vaibhavwadi Road and crossing the Mandavi Express towards Madgaon. We're skipping Aravali. Platform is on the other side. On this side is a freight. That's the Panvel Nadi Viaduct. So it's once upon a time the tallest railway viaduct in Asia. We're approaching Ratnagiri.
Ratnagiri Station. पहुंच रही है।
I think we are being sent on platform number 2 at Ratnagiri.
कृपा करून तुमच्यो सगळ्यो वस्तू आपल्या वांगडा व पाछो उघड्यास दवरा.
No, we are taking platform 3.
Yeah, but at least you are aware of what is going on. At least you are supposed to have
There's a freight waiting on platform number 2.
कृपया अपना सारा सामान अपने साथ ले जाना न भूलें।
I mean, I cannot make it. I accept it. I have my person. Not this country. I should inform what is happening. I really don't understand. No, to honest.
We are departing from Ratnagiri about 5 minutes behind schedule. Skipping Sangameshwar Road Station. It's getting dark outside, so I won't be able to record for much longer. We arrived at Gate on time. This is our last halt before Panvel. Dinner was served at around 7:45 p.m. and it consisted of a couple of chapatis, a lentil or dal curry, and a traditional Mangalorean style chicken curry known as kori gasi. There was also a cup of curd. Later, a cup of ice cream was served for dessert. I would rate this dinner a solid 9.5 on 10. It's easily the best dinner I've had on board a train till date. So we've reached Panvel on time. So with that, I completed the journey from Mangalore to Panvel in under 13 hours, including a 100-minute layover at Madgaon. Although I wanted to continue the journey all the way up to CSMT, I couldn't, since the only train from Mumbai that showed availability towards Mangalore was the Mumbai-Ernakulam Duronto Express, which departs from Mumbai Lokmanya Tilak terminus at 8:50 p.m. and reaches Panvel at around 9:45. All other trains were heavily waitlisted due to the long upcoming weekend. So what's the conclusion? Was this journey worth it? I would say yes. What can the railways do better? It's simple. Just combine both these services and run it as a single service from Mangalore to Mumbai and vice versa. If that's not possible, at least give the people an option to book these services as connecting trains through IRCTC. That way people can avail the benefit of telescopic fare. Right now, the price paid for a ticket from Mangalore to Mumbai, if I were to book through IRCTC, or if anyone were to book through IRCTC like I did, would be about 3,200 rupees, including on-board meal service. That's a bit too exorbitant. So with that, let me end this travelogue here. I hope it was helpful and I hope that you all enjoyed watching it. If you did, do consider subscribing to the channel and do consider sharing it through social media as well. Until next time, goodbye.